Hello and welcome to Amy Hart's Mums Club, the podcast where I journey through the highs and lows of parenting alongside a gaggle of fabulous guests. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Amy Hart's Mums Club, and my personal Instagram is at Amy Hart XO. Now, today, my guest, she's a doctor, she's an author, and she's a mum to three children and two stepchildren, a very busy household. The lovely Dr. Emily Andre is with me today.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just getting back into the swing of things, getting back into life after Christmas. Um, but
Oh, January.
um, how is life with you've got three, then you've got Junior and Princess as well. Your house must be so busy. Like, how do you run a tight ship? Do you are you just like, do you know what? As long as we all get our shoes on before we leave the house, we're fine. Like, what's your sort of way of doing things?
I've had to like lower my standards. I think it was before our youngest was born. I had a moment, probably actually when I was pregnant, because I was really sick in the pregnancy for like more than half. And I think I reached a point where I was like, I just can't do everything to like that standard anymore. And if they go to school with odd socks, if they forget their water bottle or they forget their PE kit, whatever, it's actually fine. Nothing bad happens. It was actually quite a like relief to just let go and go, actually, it's actually fine. You don't have to do everything perfect all the time. So I have let go a little bit, but I do try to run a bit of a tight ship. Like I'm quite key, like routine and things like that. Because I feel like then if the kids know what's coming up and what to expect, they sort of go along with it. I think it helps them feel kind of quite
Yeah.
contained, keeps things predictable. So I do try and keep their routine going a bit, but it's virtually impossible, really.
I try and tell my little boy every morning like what we're doing, but I then come unstuck with this all the time because I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go to mini golf, and then we get there and like there's a chain round the door, and I'm so excited to go to mini golf, so then I have to be on like my phone trying to find another mini golf. But I just want to quickly ask about you said about being sick in your pregnancy. Were you sick
Yeah.
in all three pregnancies or just your third?
So I was never actually physically sick, although I wish I had been. I just had this overwhelmingly horrible nausea, which like sometimes when you're sick, it actually makes you feel a bit better. I just never had that. I would get to the point I'd almost be like retching, but n nothing would come. So I had it with, so my first is a girl, and I was exactly the same with her, but only up till about 12 weeks, and then it kind of went away. With my son, the middle one, nothing, not one day of sickness at all. And then with Belle, our littlest, I was horribly nauseous up till like 25 weeks. Like I couldn't even eat. Like I've lost weight. It was just, and every time I ate, I felt more sick. It was just like, and in the evenings was the worst. So it would like morning sickness doesn't work for me. It would like get worse and worse throughout the day. And by the evening, I remember Pete would be cooking dinner, like cooking some chicken or something, and I'd be like,
Mm.
I couldn't even eat virtually at all. So
No.
it was horrible. Have you had it? Did you feel
Um,
sick?
no, so I felt sick at the beginning of this pregnancy. I did a bit with Stanley as well, but this pregnancy, I get quite bad travel sickness.
Me
So I
too.
always find myself everywhere, and I was getting travel sickness in the driver's seat of my car. And I
Oh,
remember driving
God.
along, like I was on the motorway, and I was like, right, there's nowhere to pull over. I was like, if I'm gonna be sick, I'll just be sick in my lap because I can wash my clothes and it will be fine. Like the important thing is just driving. But yeah, again, I just couldn't like, and at the time I was doing like night shifts like with work and like
Yeah,
working late every night. So I was trying
that's
to make
hard.
myself like coffee. Before I found out I was pregnant, I was trying to make myself like coffee. Because I was like, I can't keep just drinking cans of full fat Coke all of the time. Um, and so then I ended up starting to like coffee, but obviously because as a new coffee drinker, it was all the coffees that had like 1,000 calories in them because they were like,
Like
iced
muffins.
caramel, like whipped
Yeah,
cream. Because what else goes in the dome at the top of the takeaway cup? You've got to have the whipped cream.
exactly.
So now just the thought of it makes me feel a bit sick because it just reminds me of that time.
I don't know if you found this. I went off tea and coffee. I'm much more of a tea drinker, but when I'm pregnant, I cannot drink tea or coffee. It makes me feel so sick. And I always wondered, is it some kind of protective mechanism of the body? Because obviously, ideally, you avoid caffeine or you don't have too much caffeine, especially in the first few weeks. I thought, is that my body doing something clever there? Because it just puts me off completely.
See, I don't drink tea or coffee normally. That's
Okay.
why I'm starting to drink coffee. I think I've had like one sip of tea in my life, and my friend has four sugars, and I was like, it just tastes like Weetabix because with sugar on it. Um, I'm not a tea drinker. My like downfall is fizzy drinks, but I'm a hot chocolate gal. But
Oh
when I
yeah.
was with Stanley, I was having like three a day. I think it was because I've been on a calorie controlled diet, since I was a teenager, and I was finally
Yeah.
like, woohoo, I can go crazy. Like, I can have three hot chocolates a day. This time ice cold squash, water, and
Perfect.
satsumas. That's
Oh
it.
my God, that's brilliant. Isn't
I
it great
know.
when you crave something healthy? Because I've had so many friends be like, oh my God, I crave McDonald's. In my first pregnancy, I craved carrots, like raw carrots, like the
But
crunch of
like the
the
crunch.
like, and my mum's a pediatrician. She was like, you might need to just tone down the carrots because they've got a like a substance in them that can actually make you quite orange. So she was like, she would be like hiding. Because honestly, I'd eat like bags of carrots. She'd be like hiding the carrots. And then in my second pregnancy, mango. I just really craved mango. I mean, which is great.
Freshness in it as well. But
Yeah,
I'm so lazy. Like the other day, I needed it. Like I had like a crate of satsumas on the side.
love that.
And I'm really thirsty, and I was like, I could make a drink, or I could just get a satsuma because
Just
that's basically
squeeze
a drink,
it in.
isn't it? Like yeah, like a little drink each time. But yeah, it's really interesting to hear about your sickness because everyone on Instagram keeps messaging me like, "That's a girl bump, that's a girl bump," because we don't know what we're having, and we won't know until the day.
Are you
Um,
keeping it a
yeah.
surprise?
So everyone's
Oh, that's
messaging
so
me
cute.
like, that's a girl bump, that's a girl bump. But all my friends who have had girls are like, you are too well. You are too well to be having a girl. Like, there is no way you are having a boy. Like, you are having a boy because, like, I think, because I haven't thought about being pregnant because of like having miscarriages and stuff, just like chosen not to really like think about
Yeah. Well, it's said, isn't it, that you get more sick with girls, and that
it.
certainly was true for me. So with Theo, I did not even feel nauseous one day of the whole pregnancy. With both the girls, I was really nauseous. So
Yeah.
don't
Well,
know.
we'll see. We'll see on the
We'll have
day. Now, I remember when you met Pete because I am like a celebrity junkie
Oh,
and also have a great long-term memory. So I like remember when you met Pete and stuff. What was it like going from being a medical student to suddenly being in this crazy world with one of the biggest celebs in the country? And I
it was
know, I
weird.
just want to say, like, I know that he was a family friend of yours. So it wasn't like you were going for him because he was Peter Andre, and it was I remember, like I say, I remember how you met and stuff. But
Oh.
I
It was really crazy because obviously, yeah, like you said, we were friends for a good couple of years, I would say, before we actually got together. But because I'd been a student and I'd been at uni, we didn't even have a TV because I was like, not paying a license fee. That's way too much money. So we had no TV. So I'd never seen like I hadn't really I'd ne like hadn't watched I'm a Celeb, nothing like that. So I hadn't didn't know much about him. I knew he had kids, but I didn't really know much. So it was kind of nice. I got to know him just for being him. So that was kind of nice. There was no like I didn't have any sort of idea really much about him. So that was really nice. And we just got on really well. But the weird thing was like when we first started dating, like I'd be at uni, I'd be like out with my friends or whatever, and they used to put his songs on like deliberately, and then everyone would just point at me, be like, "Yeah." I'd be like, "Thanks, thanks, guys." How do you respond to that? I don't know, but which is cute.
did you have paparazzi turning up at your uni and stuff?
Do you know, I actually don't think I did. I don't think they ever came to uni. They did come to my work a few times, and that was always a bit tricky because obviously I worked in a hospital, so it was, do you know what I mean? That was always a bit, but I have to say they're always like very respectful. I think that honestly only happened like once or twice. So it has not really been too much of an issue. And if I said, "Oh, look, please, I'm at work," they'd be like, "Oh, yeah, fine."
When I came out of Love Island, I went to visit my granddad in hospital like the day after I got home, and I was with him for like an hour and a half, whatever. And I said goodbye, and I went, and then I came back, and he was like, "I thought you were going." I was like, "Yeah, granddad, I'm not allowed to leave because there's like paparazzi outside the hospital." I was
Really?
like, "Whoa, this is so cool."
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Because I was thinking, how do they know?
I
How do
know.
they find out?
What tips do you have for someone who is going to go into be that doesn't have their own children yet, going into being a stepmom? Because I know that's quite a tricky transition for some people, and I think a lot of people listening would like some help with that.
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, I didn't actually think it through at the time, but looking back, I think what I did was just we took it really slow. So I didn't step into that kind of step parent role for actually probably quite a long time. So if you can hear my little one squeak, it's on daddy daycare at the moment. She's just like she's really attached to me. She's like cling on. So if I'm not there, she's like, oh. So yeah, I think I took it really slow and I just didn't want to just jump straight into that role because I think, you know, J and P were like, they must have been 4 and 6, something like that. I don't know exactly how old, but they were little. So I really felt it was important for them to like get to know me first. So we did that probably over a couple of years. Like we took it really slow. And then kind of more and more, I would sort of look after them by myself and would take them to school and things like that. But it definitely was something that I didn't just jump in because I was the first person that had sort of been with their dad, and we always felt like we wanted them to be really comfortable and for them to remain the priority, like always.
Mm.
Um, and now, yeah, now it's obviously been like years and years. I think so we've been together for 13 and a half years. So that now obviously they're just completely used to me, I
Yeah.
think. But
It's
you know what I always say they've made my job as a stepmom so easy because they are genuinely so lovely. They're so good. Like, and I've said this a few times, but between the two of them, I think I can count on one hand the number of times I've like actually had to be like, guys, that's enough now. Like actually not really like put my foot down, but just to be like, guys, come on now. Like honestly, in 13 and a half years, definitely less than 5 times. They're so good. They're so lovely.
I've never met Junior, but Princess, I mean, one of the best moments of my life, as like I say, being a massive like celeb culture junkie, was at the Chestnut Tree Snowball the year after I came out of Love Island. And
Is
Pete
she
came up to
there?
me, Pete came up
Oh,
to me and
Pete
was
was there.
like, Princess loves you. Could you do a message to her? And I was
Oh,
like, oh my God, Princess knows who I am. This is so cool. But
yeah, we watched you.
every time I've met Princess, she just is so lovely and polite
Yeah,
and down to earth, and what a lovely, lovely girl. So she's a
yeah.
credit to you guys.
She
Like,
is. She's really sweet and she's quite shy, like naturally, but she's really coming out of her shell. She's 18 now. She's really coming out of her shell, and it's really nice to see. Yeah, they're both lovely. Junior's the same. If you ever meet him, it's very
yeah.
polite.
Now let's talk about your book. So obviously you've got three young girls in the house. Um, so what is your book all about? Tell us all about it.
My book is all about periods, which you know what is a great topic because obviously we're all us girls anyway going to go through it, and I feel like it's still something that is not always spoken about. There's still sometimes some shame or people feel embarrassed. People don't always want to ask the questions about it. Whatever gender you are, you're going to either know somebody who has periods or you'll go through it yourself. So I just felt like it was really important to put loads of information out there that's accurate, that's informative, but also just lets people know that it's all right, however you want to go through it, it's fine. So it's called Periods, Everything You Need to Know. And there is literally everything you need to know in there. There's a lot of information. There's all the science. Then there's like, I've written a whole section on like tips for picking different products, like just explaining what all the different products are because, it's quite a minefield, isn't it? So went through
It's
all of
so,
that.
it's
Yeah.
so scary now. I was actually, before I get onto this, like so scary bit, you said about like this like shame and like embarrassment
Yeah.
around thing. I don't really have that because I'm like, girls have periods, get over it. But
Yeah.
I was in an airport with my friend and I went and bought a box of tampons and I had like a basket rather than a handbag. And they were at the top. And she reached over and rearranged my bag
Really.
top. And I was like, she's like, oh, because someone might see. I was like, okay, right. Like,
See, I'm with you. I don't care
I was
about it
like,
at all.
and if they do see, like, what? I don't understand. But anyway, whatever. But yeah, because I read a lot about like some products have like dyes and bleaches in them and stuff, and everyone's talking. Are you a moon cupper? Anyone
I'm not.
who has periods now, I'm on the moon cups. I'm not because I
So
just
I did write about them in the book.
yeah
I've never actually used them. So I did have to research and I obviously wrote about cups
yeah
and put them in the book. I obviously each their own, and there is that people do use them. Like when I was looking it all up, I can't remember the statistics now, but like people do use them.
yeah.
Um, It's for me not my choice, but only because I don't know why. I don't know. I think it's just a bit tricky. I think especially for younger girls, like if you're just starting your periods, that's quite hard to
Yeah.
pop it in, pop it
I
out.
was
But I think as you get maybe a
not
bit more
fast, not
experience,
for me. Like,
it's not for me either. But then again, everyone's different. You know what's new now? And obviously I'm a lot older than you, but when I started
no,
my
no,
periods,
I
they
know.
did
I think you're younger than me.
no, no.
I'm 33.
Oh, no, I'm 36.
Oh, okay.
Definitely older. Um, and I look about 10 years older now. Honestly, wait till you have 3 kids, you'll be like, no, so when I first started my periods, they didn't exist. It's like period pants.
Yes, I got
It's a
those.
new thing. I'm like quite excited about it, to be honest.
I was actually thinking about those yesterday because I was going like I went into my drawer to get out a pair of pants and I picked up what I thought was like a pair of black pants and it wasn't. It was my period pants. But I bought them when I was a size 8. Now, I don't think there's much chance of me ever getting back to a size 8, so I should probably throw them away. But it's that thing of I spent so much money on them that I'm
Yeah,
like, I made the investment. I must keep them just in case I ever end up back at a size 8.
they're quite stretchy anyway. And
Yeah, yeah. I'll give them a go when I've once I've had the baby. But luckily I don't need them now. It's perfect. I love it.
it's one of the great things about being pregnant. But
No.
I've stacked, stashed up for Millie. She's 11, and I said to her, "Should we give them a try?" She was like, "Yeah." So I've bought like 10 pairs.
And they do
No one will
bikinis
ever use
now as
them.
well, don't they?
Pardon?
Do bikinis now as well.
Yeah,
Like
they do bikinis,
bikinis.
swimwear. It's one thing I learned actually writing my book. I did not know this. It's quite nice being able to do all the research that apparently you can actually swim on your period without any period products because the pressure of the water stop. You imagine, don't you, that you'll be swimming and it will all be coming out behind you.
Yeah.
But that's apparently not what happens. Although obviously when you then get out the
Not
pool,
the full.
but
It's
that's
all,
where obviously the period swimwear would come
yeah.
in.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was like, wow, who knew? Like as a teenager, I remember thinking, oh my God, you can't go swimming. Not the case. Not the case at all.
Because I remember like I mean, I get on really well with my mum, and we've always had quite an open relationship, but like my friends at school taught me how to use tampons because
Really?
something that I would like ask. It was a bit weird, and it was only like when I was on my period at school one day, and I was like still using pads, and everyone was like, "Oh no, you need to use tampons. They're so much better." Um, and I was like, oh, "Okay," and so we went in the toilet and had a full
A
lesson.
little sesh.
Yeah,
Well, let me tell you, Amy, I wrote a bit in the book about, I was like, I need to write how to use a tampon. And I'm there typing it out. Step one. It was quite fun to do. To be like, you got to check out your anatomy first. Have a look. Because I was like, you got to start from there, haven't you? You got to look
yeah.
at what you're doing. So that was step one, checking
I
out
was
the
my friend
anatomy.
saying, make sure you hold on because if you let go of that applicator, like you
It's
have to
never
hold
coming
on.
back.
Yeah. Now
No,
you're
so
like,
it was actually fun to write. Like all the things I think that as an adult you just do without thinking. I was like, I've got to really strip it back to basics. But I was a real late bloomer. I was about 3, 4 months off being 16. So all my friends had started, and that's something I talk quite a lot about in the book, that some people, can start as puberty as early as 8, you can start, and some people are much, much later. So I was way, way late. And I remember always thinking, like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not? I got the spots, I got acne and sweaty and all that, but no periods, no like breast development, nothing till I was probably nearly 16. Yeah.
my friend didn't start till she was 16. I remember her always being really annoyed and stuff. And then they came and she was like, oh,
Oh,
gee, and I don't want these. Like,
that was me. That was exactly me. But it's about like there's no normal, everyone, some people have heavy periods, some people don't. And the amazing thing these days is we have so many more periods than we used to because obviously back years and years ago, people were pregnant a lot more. They might have maybe had 10, 11, 12 kids. So we have to deal with periods so much more these days than we ever used to.
no. And well done. My nan's mum, it's my great nan, she
Hmm.
had like 10 children. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, I wish I could have 10 children, but I don't think Sam will let me. Like, it's not the done thing now, is it? Like, I follow all these
I
big
know
families in
you need
America.
a big car.
I know. I follow a family in America and they have 7 kids and they've got like a proper like van. And then a family that's got 16 kids, they just bought a party bus. So that everyone just
For the
piles in.
school run. Love
Yeah.
that.
I literally
I
passed.
don't think I could do it. I've thought this through. I'm at my max. I don't think I could handle anymore. For starters, I can't split myself. I already feel like I can't split myself 3 ways slash 5 ways, but I couldn't split myself anymore. I'm definitely done.
And this is the thing, I say this coming from someone that has one child and is about to have a second. So maybe you're better versed at it than I am in that maybe I shouldn't have 10 children. But like I'm like, oh, 'cause when all over Christmas we watch Home Alone a lot because Stanley, even though
Yeah.
he's 2.5, his favorite thing to do is just watch films. Like he said all he ever said, Mummy, can we have a movie night? Can we sit on the sofa and snuggle and have a movie night?
Oh.
And he loves Home Alone. And obviously there's like hundreds of kids all running around. And like to watch it, you're like, oh my God, that looks so cool. And then you're like, oh, actually that would be every single day.
Got to
So
clean
maybe,
up after. That's the
yeah.
problem. That is the problem. Just so you know, though, I feel like going from no kids to one is the hardest. You've done the hardest bit.
Hmm.
Going from one to two is fine. You'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Well, my husband's quite apprehensive, but I'm like, well, it's happening. So we've got to get on with it. So it's got to work. So
What's the
they
age gap going to be?
uh, literally 3 years.
Okay, so
Exactly.
that's really similar to me. My eldest two are like 2 and 9 months
Yeah.
apart,
So me and my
which is,
brother are 2 and 9 months. My mum always says it's a perfect age gap.
yeah, I do think it's a really good age gap because your eldest one is not so little that they can't, like feed themselves and, they're hopefully sleeping through the night and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you haven't got like two babies.
Yes. And then
So,
what was your age gap between 2 and 3?
oh, I like 7 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was really, bless him, he's gorgeous. He was really hard work as a baby. He was just really grumpy. You just get babies that are just whingy and grumpy all the time. That was
Yeah.
him. That's why I waited 7 years. I was like, I don't know if I can do this again.
And that is, I obviously Stanley's been like his temperament is amazing. He just loves
Yeah.
life. And I keep thinking, I'm like, I really hope I have another life lover. If not, it's going to be a long couple of years.
No, but I think, do you know what? Even though Theo was super grumpy, he was so sweet. Like he was
Yeah.
so cuddly. And so, all kids are different. They've all got you know, their bits where you're like, oh, he
Yeah.
just cried all the time, but he was so cute. And now he's gorgeous. He's not a
Yeah.
whinger at all. So I think he just had to get it all out of his system for about 3 years. Taking him on an aeroplane, oh my gosh, it nearly finished me off. Until he was about 3, he would just scream the whole flight. And people would be looking at me like, what are you doing?
And you're like, I'm not like I don't want like yesterday where I was in the dentist and I was trying to like pay for the appointments and then book the next ones. He's in the water cooler, wants a glass of water. So I'm like, Stanley, stop doing that. Stanley, stop going to the door. Stanley, stop doing this. So I tried to pick him up and he's whinging and stuff. He was like looking up over their glasses at me. And I was like, yeah, I
I'm
don't want him
trying.
either.
I'm
Like,
trying.
yeah, like this is not the one.
I
Um,
know.
but what inspired you to write the book?
So I think for me, it was all about like I said, wanting to talk about a topic that not everyone is, open about, and that there is still that shame. I think stigma as well. And I think obviously in different cultures, people handle periods differently. But there's definitely, some people do still feel that they can't talk about it, that it's like dirty or it's gross or whatever. So and there's quite a lot in the book about how you feel about periods and like being positive about them, how you support other people who are having periods. So I think it was just about wanting to talk about a topic that maybe not everyone wants to touch
Yeah.
on.
Well, people might not have someone in their lives that they can talk to. So
Yeah,
the book is like a really good resource for that.
yeah, I think so. And also it's nice because it's something I've obviously been through on my own journey. So it's always nice to write about something that where you feel like, oh, I've got some not like experience of this, I can pass that on.
Yeah.
And then obviously with my kind of career background as well, it was like it just came together quite nicely. But I love writing for kids. It's so nice. What is it, my fifth book? I think it's my fifth book. Oh my God, that's quite cool. But yeah, they've all been for kids. I enjoy writing for kids.
So the book is out super soon. So we'll put all the details in the show notes. Thank you so
Thank
much for joining me today. And thank you for listening. I hope you've really enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to check us out on social media at Amy Hart's Mums Club on Instagram and TikTok. And I'll be back next week with another fabulous guest.